Hold up.
Every day I wake up, wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?
It's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, Jess Hilarious. It's time for Front Page News with Mimi Brown. Good morning, Mimi Brown.
Good morning, Charlamagne. Good morning, Jess. How y'all doing this morning?
Good morning, Mimi.
Good morning. All right, so we start this morning in Washington, where after 43 days, the federal government is officially back open. The longest shutdown in U.S. history is now over. Late last night, President Trump signed the funding bill from the Oval Office, ending 6 weeks of disruption that left federal workers without pay, stalled travel, and delayed everything from food benefits to preschool programs. Now, the House passed the bill 222 to 209 after hours of tense debate. 2 Republicans voted against the bill. 6 Democrats voted with the GOP to open the government. Now, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, he took to the floor saying the fight is not over. Let's listen.
House Democrats will continue to fight to address the health care crisis that Republicans have created. Only 2 ways, Mr. Speaker, that this fight will end. Either Republicans finally decide to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits this year, or the American people will throw Republicans out of their jobs next year and end the speakership of Donald J. Trump once and for all. That's how this fight ends.
Well, Speaker,
for once, he's right. Okay, for once, Pac Shakur is correct.
Well, Speaker Mike Johnson, in his speech after the vote, he called the shutdown pointless and cruel, saying the priority is now getting federal workers paid and the government running. Let's listen to what he had to say.
I want to say that all this was utterly pointless and foolish. This outcome was totally foreseeable. I said that this would be the outcome when all this began back in mid-September. They did it anyway. They got nothing for their selfish political stunt here. They didn't achieve anything with this at all. And anyone who studied history would know that shutdowns never yield any positive result.
Listen, man, God bless all the federal workers. I am so glad that you all are about to get paid again. God bless all the food programs. I'm glad that, people are going to get their food aid. I know it's been rough the past 40 days, but we can get back to some sense of normalcy. Like, I don't care about either political party. I care about the people. All right?
And God bless them in their recovery, because now they got to play catch up. You know what I mean? It's the aftermath of what's going on.
That's right.
Yeah, they definitely have to play catch up. But here's what all of this means for the American public. As you just mentioned, Charlamagne, hundreds of thousands of federal workers, they will return back to work within days. Some, in fact, have been told to report today. They will get back pay for all 43 days. Food benefits will restart. States will begin loading those SNAP cards again, but there could still be some delays as the system catches up from the backlog. At Head Start and preschool programs, classes will reopen as early as today. And agencies that handle passports, visas, and air traffic security, that will ramp back up, which should ease some of those delays at the airport. Parks that have been closed, they will be operating now again throughout the week. They're expected to open back up. Now, we heard from President Trump, who also signed that bill at 10:30 last night. He was surrounded by Republican lawmakers and business leaders. He also used the moment to point the finger at Democrats. Let's hear what he had to say.
This is no way to run a country. I hope we can all agree that the government should never be shut down again, end the filibuster, terminate the filibuster. It'll never happen again. So with my signature, the federal government will now resume normal operations, and my administration and our partners in Congress will continue our work to lower the cost of living, restore public safety, grow our economy, and make America affordable again.
I disagree with Mike Johnson and President Trump when they say that what Democrats did was a political stunt. Like, I think that Democrats threw a Hail Mary on behalf of the American people, because folks are going to lose health care. Folks' health care premiums are going to go up. I think they had to try something, and they did. It didn't work, but can't knock them for trying. But I'm glad that federal workers are getting back to business.
I mean, then they finally showed a little bit of fight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, all right, like they stood 10 toes down,
Yeah. Yeah,
and they brought the healthcare crisis to the front and center, right?
Yep.
I mean, America's healthcare crisis needs to be fixed. They can blame each other, but it still does need to be fixed. And so this funding bill only lasts through January 30th, and we could be here again. So in between there, they need to try and figure out something.
But on top of the healthcare crisis, the government shutdown creates about 2 or 3 more other crises. You know what I mean? Because federal workers aren't getting paid. People aren't getting their food benefits. So it's just a whole bunch of crises going on.
Right.
And turning to another crisis on Capitol Hill.
Damn, Mimi, another one.
There's another one, but this one, Jess, we're going to see what happens with this one. This one is the Jeffrey Epstein files, right? So the House is now locked in for a vote to release those long sealed records. That was after the Rep. Alita Gribalda, she was sworn in. She immediately became the 218th signature needed to force that action. So her signature set off a rare discharge position, which guarantees a vote will happen within hours. Speaker Mike Johnson, he said that he will bring that bill to the floor next week instead of waiting until December. So at the same time yesterday, the House Oversight Committee, they released more than 20,000 pages of new Epstein documents. And some of those files, they included Donald Trump or Epstein pitching stories to New York Times reporters. They also included Donald Trump or Epstein saying that there's photos of Donald Trump with girls in bikinis in his kitchen, although there is no evidence of those photos. Epstein also urged a reporter if they wanted a photo of Donald Trump walking into a glass door or watching women in Epstein's pool, something like that, absolutely. But again, Charlamagne, none of these claims have been independently verified. These are just what the purportedly what the 20,000 emails that they released or 20,000 pages that they released show. There's also messages from author Michael Wolff during the 2026 campaign. So we'll see. The White House, though, they are pushing back. They're accusing Democrats of releasing emails that shape the narrative tying Trump to Epstein. So we'll see what that looks like. That bill is headed to the floor next week. Speaker Mike Johnson said that he will take that up. And so we will see what happens if those files do get released. If they do, unclassified Epstein files that we've been waiting for could actually hit the public. Yeah, that's what people need. People actually need to see visuals. I don't know if transcripts are going to hit like folks want them to, because people don't read. 20,000 pages of transcripts. Y'all gonna have to go through that and get the most juiciest parts and create some AI visuals to go with them for people to actually really take in the information. Something. Yeah. So we will see that coming up at 7. We're going to talk about TSU in Texas. We'll tell you more about why they think that the state is trying to take over that HBCU.
Word. All right. We'll do that when we come back. Yes, it's the world's most dangerous morning show, The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Jess Hilarious, DJ Envy. Envy is off today. The throat monster got him, so he don't have no voice. But it's time for front page news with Mimi Brown. First, Mimi, I want to salute the Audie Crooks from Iowa State. I didn't get to watch the game last night, but I'm looking at some of the highlights. Man, Audie Crooks dropped 43 points in 23 minutes. No, 43 points in 20 minutes, actually.
That's crazy.
That's insane, man. She had 43 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists in 20 minutes. So salute to Audie Crooks of Iowa State. But what we got in front page news, Mimi?
All right. Good morning, Jess. Good morning, Charlamagne. How y'all doing this morning?
Good morning, girl.
Blessed, black, and highly favored.
All right, so we're starting this hour with growing controversy at Texas Southern University. That's an HBCU in Houston, after state leaders accused the school of mishandling hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick wants TSU state funding cut after the state auditor flagged major problems with the university's purchasing and contracting. The governor, he then escalated things, calling in the Texas Rangers to investigate, even though the audit isn't finished. Now, the auditor says TSU processed more than $282 million in invoices tied to expired contracts and another 8,000 invoices worth about $158 million dated before the purchases were even made. She says TSU didn't follow procurement rules and plans to meet with university officials this week. But TSU says it has already made those changes, including a new procurement system, and is cooperating fully. And inside that TSU community, there's a bigger concern, and their concern is whether the state is using this moment to push for a full takeover or threaten the school's independence. And TSU is a standalone public HBCU in Texas. It's not part of the UT or AM system, and that's made it politically vulnerable for decades. State Rep Ronald Reynolds says that the public, they aren't getting the information or the answers that they need, and they're calling for more transparency. Let's listen to what he has to say.
I want and demand transparency because I know for a fact that many in the administration want to see TSU placed under a system. And in this heightened era of anti-diversity, equity, and inclusion, anti-black and brown from the Trump administration that's trickled down to Texas and all over the country, I tread with significant caution until there's evidence that would merit and substantiate these allegations.
So Mimi, what's the why here? I understand what the brother is saying right there, but why would they want TSU placed under a system?
Money. So, former TSU president James Douglas says that, if there's any real issues that they need to be addressed, but sitting in law enforcement before the audit is finished, they feel like it's more political theater than process. So what's happening is he's pointing out that the Board of Regents, so the people responsible for the oversight, they are appointed by the governor. That's the same governor that I said just sent in the Texas Rangers who are they want to investigate. And so what they're trying to do, what they think that they're trying to do is take over that HBCU and put it under state control, put it into the AM systems and be able to control the school and control the money. And so they're saying, if that's the case, they want transparency. They want to do an independent audit. They want to see, what is really going on with this money for themselves. They don't want to just trust the governor's people and take their word for it. So that's where we are. So this morning, students, staff, and alumni, they are demanding answers, not just about the audit, but about whether the state is laying the groundwork to take over this historic HBCU.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So if you are an AT&T customer, you could be owed money for 2 major data breaches from last year. So AT&T, they have agreed to pay out $177 million, but you must file a claim by November 18th. So the company, they were hit with 2 breaches in 2024. In March, sensitive information, including social security numbers, leaked onto the dark web. Then in July, more customer data tied to account numbers, it was illegally downloaded. So if your information was part of either breach, you may qualify for a payout. If you were affected by both, you can claim up to $7,500, which is a significant amount.
It's only AT&T. It's not Verizon or T-Mobile.
It's only AT&T. You gotta be an AT&T customer, and you have to be affected by those data breaches. So either one or the other. If you were affected by both, you can get a payout of up to $7,500. To check your eligibility, you can go to AT&T databreachsettlement.com. Click submit your claim. You can search using your name, your email, or your account number. You can fill out something online, a claim online, but it must be postmarked by Tuesday, November 18th, which is coming up next week. And again, Jess, as you just asked, it is just for AT&T customers. But if you are, it's worth checking because that payout is significant.
You said $7,500?
Yes,
$7,500.
That's better. That's better than a stimulus check.
Yes.
Yes. So it is.
Damn.
So it's like, I believe if for one, it's $2,500. For the other, it's $5,000. If you were, if it happened to you for both, you get that $7,500. So
let me tell you something, Mimi. I'm gonna tell you why knowledge is power. Because you just gave that information out. There's a bunch of people who didn't know anything about that, and now some of them people are gonna go to ATTdatabreachsettlement.com to see if they're eligible, and they're gonna get blessed.
Yes, they are.
Yes, just do it by November 18th, which is Tuesday, so that you make sure that you get your money and fill out that form.
Y'all got 5 days, ATTdatabreachsettlement.com. All you federal workers that's trying to get back, okay, you're trying to get really back on your feet. That can really help you catch up on some bills. I wonder how long it takes for you to get the money, though.
Yeah, that's a good question.
That'd be the thing.
Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a question and answer portion on the website. I don't know, but definitely you want to get that filled out. You got to start to be able to, you got to be in it to win it. So start by filling it out and following up with that.
Well, speaking of phones and AT&T and all of that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought you had a segue into the.
What?
No.
I just want to say this. What is wrong with you?
No, I'm just looking at the paper. I thought Mimi was saying, I see something about a study.
Oh, wait. Okay. Yes. But I know where you were going with that. But you are absolutely right. I am about to go into phones. But so there is a new study that says the average person, they check their phone 144 times a day.
Damn.
Yes, 144 times a day. But they can't remember the last 3 things that they Googled. So Jess, what's the last thing that you Googled?
Oh, girl, Audie Crooks.
See, because you just did it though. That's cheating.
Just did it. Yeah, I don't remember what it was. Probably dispensary near me or something like that.
Before that,
literally.
What about
Audie
you,
Crooks.
Charlamagne? What's the last thing that you Googled?
On my phone, I don't remember. On my laptop, Audie Crooks.
On your phone. Okay, so
I don't remember on my phone.
researchers say we scroll so much that our brains, it doesn't even bother holding on to what we search. We Google the same things over and over again, some directions, recipe names, we forget most of it. And the wild part, that they say that even though we check our phones over 100 times a day, most people cannot recall the last single thing that they Googled in the last 24 hours.
You know what? Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. And call me crazy, call me stupid, call me whatever, out of touch, whatever. I had to Google, are blacks boycotting Walmart and Amazon because I made a video yesterday calling myself helping the people out, for Thanksgiving. You remember you reported like 3 weeks ago, Mimi, all these Thanksgiving deals between Aldi or Aldi, Lidl, Costco, and Walmart and Amazon. I did the same thing because it started yesterday, most of the sales. And they in my comments going crazy like, let's take our money elsewhere. I can't believe that you really up here supporting that we boycott. I was like, we boycott Walmart.
You must have said Target. Yeah, I thought it was Target
too.
That's
what I said.
I didn't say Target.
Maybe I missed the memo because I didn't.
Swear.
So when you Googled it, what happened?
They said niggas is always mad at something. That's why. That's what Siri said back to you.
I don't even remember what it said, but I was so mad. I was like, wait, did I do something wrong? Because I know Target is on the list of boycotting, but Walmart and Amazon. But then I Googled further. No, I checked GBT, right? And they said those big corporations help fund Trump campaign. And so we shouldn't be promoting anything they got going on. I'm like, see, this is the thing about black people. Niggas don't give other niggas the memo. Like all niggas. Like
I didn't. By the way, I didn't see. I didn't know that Walmart was on that list either. I know that Walmart roll back their Walmart rolled back their diversity initiatives way back when everybody else did, and Amazon as well. But I never heard nobody calling for no boycott of either one of them.
I heard about it, but I didn't know that it was still like a thing.
Yeah,
I know when it first started. I didn't.
And I'm just trying to help people. You feel me? You think people gonna worry about where they getting food if they have little to none right now, and it's a big ass sale? I just didn't understand that, but I was like, my bad, people. I left the video up because that's still gonna help somebody. But I was just like,
by the way, and just because a bunch of people on social media tell you that, don't mean that it's true either, though.
Yeah, it was like a lot of people shot.
And you still help somebody though.
Yeah. No, those comments were definitely in there. Like, oh, thank you so much. I didn't even know. I live right next to a Walmart. I'm going to steal it. So I was like, okay, great.
You're going to steal it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, that is your front page news. I'm Mimi Brown. Follow me at Mimi Brown TV. For more stories, follow the Black Information Network. Download the free iHeartRadio app or visit BINnews.com.
Thank you, Mimi.
Thank you, Mimi.
Thank y'all.
Hold up. Every day I wake up, wake your ass up.
The Breakfast Club.
Y'all finished or y'all done?